Right.
Take a look at that iron wall of woman. Must be the Iron Marshal. Come at me, grave meat.
I got it. I got it. Right.
What have we here? Damn thing couldn't pierce cloth.
I need to try a different weapon.
This is useless. I should try something else.
The fuck is wrong with my weapon?
That's how it's done. This weapon is entirely worthless.
Fall before me!
Right.
Send me your champion! For the glory of Kairos!
Right.
For the glory of Kairos!
On it.
Take a look at that. Wake me up when it's over.
This should be it. Right. Sorry, I can't.
Damn thing couldn't pierce cloth. They won't even get.
Right.
Spotted something.
I got it.
I'd say that's worth a second glance. I see you there.
I'm not dead yet.
Can't do that.
Wake me up when it's over.
I got it. Right.
That one rattled me hard. Pull yourself together.
Fall before me! Oh, someone stitch me up. You got it.
I will aid you. I'll hit you twice as hard next time! Smash to pieces!
We could climb the wall here. Oh, don't give me that look. I can manage the climb.
That wasn't so hard.
What have we...
Someone staunch my bleeding!
Don't you die on me!
Did I always have this much blood?
Can't move.
Your days end here! Pay attention, kids. You might learn something.
Take that! Crap! Pull yourself together!
I'm on it.
I got it. Heads up, we have company. This is useless. I should try something else.
Damn thing couldn't pierce cloth. This isn't working.
I I need to try a different weapon.
This weapon is useless.
I got it.
Get up! Now's not the time for... Oh, you're really hurt.
Smash to pieces.
This is...
Damn thing couldn't pierce cloth.
I got it. I got it. Yes. I got it.
Send them at me in waves.
Let's try that again.
Damn my eyes.
On it.
Send them at me in waves!
I got it.
Damn thing could pierce cloth. Damn. Oh, someone stitch me up.
Take that!
Oh, someone stitch me up. I'll tear your skeleton out by your ass. Oh, got dark all of a sudden.
Will do.
Let's have it then. Graven Ash protects.
This is useless. I should try something else. Sorry, I can't.
On your feet, soldier!
Get back on your feet, or I'll write you a most unflattering obituary.
Right. Will do.
It's a hit!
Right. Sorry, I can't.
Another battle? We're bad at making friends.
Fall before me! I see the broken eyes.
On it.
Interesting.
Yes. On it. It's a battle! I got it.
Oh, someone stitch me up.
Will do. I got it. Got it. I got it. I got it. On it.
I better not wake up dead.
On your feet, soldier!
I can't.
Will do. I got it. On it.
I'll hit you twice as hard.
I got it.
Time to change weapons.
Spin up.
I will aid you.
Seeing an awful lot of red. Got dark all of a sudden.
Let's give them something to someone staunch my bleeding. What else?
Right.
Someone's. Oh.
On it.
What would be easier if you're not getting
So heavy. Can't move.
Will do.
Seeing an awful lot of red.
I'm injured. Ready? I got it. I'm injured. Will do.
Oh, someone stitch me up.
Can't do that. Right.
You got it.
I'll omit that from the record.
Right.
Come on.
I got it.
Grave meat. Throw flies.
For me!
Count on it.
On it.
Let's do it, you and me. Seeing an awful. Got dark all of a sudden.
I need to try a different weapon. Is that it? No, wait.
On it.
Is that ink? No, wait. It's blood.
Salutations, Fatebinder. Or should I now call you Lord of Vendrien's Well? The Spire King? Prince of the suggestive vertical slab. So if I might ask, what is your plan now? The edict no longer looms overhead, and Kairos' conquest of the Tiers seems to be slipping, what with the armies and civil war. I would counsel you to do just that. I'm sure the events of Vendrien's Well are best explained from your mouth to Tunon's ears. Furthermore, I'd guess the Archon of Justice would want to know your take on the Archons and their divide. My first suggestion would be to build a boat. Something durable, and take our chances on the high seas far from Kairos. I have a second and more practical suggestion. Look to the horizon and slightly up. By that I mean the other spires. We should see what's atop the others. Otherwise someone else might look first. Not nearly enough, apparently. To me, they've always been axioms of navigation. You can triangulate a lot of things with the sextant and a clear view to a spire or two. We've long known the spires radiate strong magical fields, and all save the mountain spire connect to the old walls. So it's the sort of thing common folk know from afar, but avoid day to day. I see. I'm sure there's little I can do to persuade you otherwise. Just consider that the people of the Tiers will someday bow to Kairos. Why not have them bow to you instead? Aren't you a feisty one? Where was this hate for Kairos' lackeys a few years ago? You seem so very eager to turn on your old allies. But I'm not one to criticize. I think it's wise to lean into the winds of change. Well, short of Tunon giving you orders on pain of death, you have the luxury of acting on your own volition, though the Scarlet Chorus are likely to come for you. Whatever you decide, I'm at your disposal. What is it you need? Now we're working with the disfavored. You want my advice? My advice would be to get close to Graven Ash and plunge a poisoned shiv in his ear. Well, if you're working with Graven Ash, give it your all. Offer to help the Archon of War with whatever he needs. The stronger the Legion, the weaker the Chorus. And if you get close enough to him, well, with enough trust, you could get very close to the Archon of War. I'm not saying it's a quick plan, but I think if you stay close in his confidence, the moment to strike will reveal itself in time. Ask away. You know, I normally charge for this, but for you... Now, you know that's a very personal question. The knowledge I have is a centuries-old gift from the Archon of Tides. I would sooner discard my life than the sanctity of that gift. I will speak in generalities only. You know, I normally charge for this, but for you... Ask away. Ask away. We all know how to swim, and we all know how to fight. Most Northmen are lucky to make half that boast. What would you like to know? Aside from the ones you slew, well, the Vendrien Guard were the most staunch opponents of Kairos. With their passing, the Overlord's rule is absolute. Well, aside from the local Archons being in a state of civil war. Was there a particular group you wished to discuss? The Unbroken is the name of the military of the now fallen realm of Stalwart. Every citizen of Stalwart was trained to fight, and all were expected to answer the rallying cry of the Regents, the ruling small council of the realm. A decade ago, Stalwart was the ass end of jokes tiersmen would tell each other. The people of Stalwart are obnoxiously proud of a long history of being invaded, but never losing. The disfavored put an end to their vaunted record of victory. The Unbroken still persist, albeit marginally so. The disfavored withdrew after the Edict of Storms began shredding the landscape. Their holdfast of Sentinel Stand Keep was never taken, and the citizen army, though scattered, could still be rallied. Kairos' war was disastrous to the human realm of Azure, but a stroke of good luck for the numerous beastmen that toiled in Azure's endless wheat fields. With the masters all dead, the serfs have been set free. The Stonestalkers are a tribe born from these newly freed beasts. I imagine they would never bow to Kairos or the Archons. Too many generations have been enslaved. I'd wager anything they'll die before they ever bow. Beastmen understand strength and leadership, but it's always in the concrete sense. I can't pretend to know how they think, but I could never imagine them accepting an absent Prima. A distant ruler they can't see or smell seems a bit too abstract. The Bronze Brotherhood is one of the most feared and famous of the Free City mercenary companies. They serve the highest bidder, and during the war, that was Kairos. Most of the Brotherhood perished in the war, but a handful, the crew hired to work at Lethian's Crossing. They got to babysit the Forge-bound and survived the last few years with minor losses. The band is too small to be a serious threat to the disfavored or the chorus, but they are scourge-worshipping berserks that will adopt any enemy for the right price. Maybe even Kairos. Several sages came to our aid during the Second Battle of Vendrien's Well. I at first thought they meant to kill me, but instead they put their lives on the line for us. They spoke of others in their guild braving the Edict of Fire to salvage lore from the burning library. Though I may find them untrustworthy, it must be said that the sages have a certain fearlessness toward the Overlord. Perhaps that could be kindled further. Historically speaking, an alliance with the School of Ink and Quill is just asking to have your efforts stolen and your goals undermined. Mark my words, some things never change. Well, perhaps we can shove them in front of the enemy. And the ones that volunteered at Vendrien's Well weren't all bad. Ask away. Not entirely sure. Which is to say, there was a time I studied my enemy in great detail, but I've recently come to learn that much of my information was little more than lies and misdirection. Ask away. I know a great deal of the mages of the Tiers, or at least their history. Most are dead now. I know a little less about the guilds sworn to Kairos' archons, but I try to make an effort to know my opposition. Ask away. My one concern with Barrick is that he's still loyal to Graven Ash and not to you. Barrick seems steadfast, faithful, and dependable. But if it comes down to you versus Graven Ash, therein lies the test. We should consider ourselves fortunate that one of the most deadly members of the Scarlet Furies considers you a suitable gang leader. That said, I think her involvement with you is entirely suspect. I would wager good money the voices of Neratis listening through her, or perhaps seeing what she sees. Probably the only word thief I haven't wanted to dismember. Him? I'd merely flay with an ice knife. Ask away. What is it you need?
Sorry, I can't. Right.
What is it you need?
And so, civil war divides the armies of mighty Kairos. The reckoning that comes of this failure will be great indeed. We find ourselves in the darkest times. Brothers and sisters who fought for a similar cause now skewer each other over blighted lands in the favor of distant powers. Backing the disfavored was the only logical choice. Graven Ash is the only Archon worthy of your confidence, and you were wise to recognize as much. Naturally, I would have done the same. Whatever others might say about what happened in Vendrien's well, you acted from instinct. I can't help but respect that. What can I do for you? The thought has crossed my mind from time to time. During the many battles of the Conquest, we found ourselves standing back to back with enemies on all sides on more than one occasion.
The big guy here is as useless as an empty scabbard without his phalanx to keep him alive, but I move fast enough to compensate for it. And it's nice having a living wall of rusted iron I can use for cover.
Absolutely not. Our fighting styles are incompatible, and any disfavored lieutenant will tell you not to join at the hip soldiers who can't stomach each other.
I'm inclined to agree. If you want to pair up fighters, there has to be some great passion or magnetism between them. We don't have it.
Now see here, Versa's temperament and unpredictable ways are an annoyance, but no challenge is beyond my skill. Verse, we should take some time to face off in the sparring fields. It might even improve our disposition towards one another.
I'd rather watch you devour your armor one shaved-off spoonful at a time. But since that isn't going to happen anytime soon, I suppose I'll make an effort.
My Lord Binder, you have something which requires my attention? What can I do for you? We are siblings. Half-siblings. Regrettable and repugnant as that fact might seem, it is true. Though the products of different nations and cultures, we have the distinction of sharing a father. I am disgusted by the thought that my father lay down with some low-born southern farmhand. But my horror does not spare me from the truth of it. So I accept the fact and try to move on.
You should take it as a compliment to our father's skills. My mother's a tough woman to please. I rather think I took after him, don't you?
During the conquest, the Scarlet Chorus made sport of shooting down messenger birds on their way to the disfavored camp. Anything they could accomplish to hinder our efforts or embarrass us was fair game. My father sent a missive intended for my eyes alone. By incredible chance, Verse intercepted it and recognized the name and handwriting. She found me in camp that evening, and we discussed our unlikely situation. We've done everything in our power to keep the word quiet. Not many in the Legion know that I share blood with a Southerner, much less a chorus rat.
Don't worry, Barrack. When my old gang boss caught wind of our discovery, I killed her and took the gang for myself. Our secret's safe with me. Well, it was, anyway.
Well, Verse has a nasty habit of jabbering in my ear and making this war intolerable. I plan on parting ways and returning to the north at first convenience. My father will answer for his infidelity. Beyond that, I am happy to consider myself in every way unaffected. My superiors once accused me of having an impulsive streak, but I have worked to suppress it at every turn.
When you go back home, send Father my fondest greetings and thanks. If he hadn't gone to ground on my mother's dry dock, I might not be here today.
My heritage was a point of pride and distinction before I met you, Verse. Not that you would care. Not particularly. She is unstable at the best of times, and a hardened killer at the worst. I don't know what her family did to her, but she lacks any pretense of human decency.
It takes one to know one. Don't act like we're so different, Barrack. You're the most repressed and intolerant soldier I've ever met. You hide it under duty and pride, but it's still there. I've asked myself about that several times, but unfortunately I don't have what you'd call a definitive answer. The Northerners put a lot of meaning behind family and blood. Seems arbitrary to me, but I don't want to discredit it entirely. I told you about what happened to my Scarlet Fury sisters. The hesitation I experienced. Sometimes I wonder if that wasn't because of my connection to Barrack. He's stubborn, regimented, everything I'm not. I suppose there's no telling for sure, but if I had to guess... yeah. Sometimes I get messed up in my head, and learning I had a brother has helped me understand that better.
If we must, well, I cannot imagine what can be gained of traveling together. I grant that we are both proficient fighters, but most days we get along as well as the archons of war and secrets. My Lord Binder, you have something which requires my attention? What can I do for you?
So, the Scarlet Chorus and Disfavored are at each other's throats. Can't say I didn't see that coming, but the Archons might have waited until one war was over before they started another. Fighting with the Disfavored. Not the call I would have made, but I'm sure you have your reasons. If you like iron weapons or something about that purple uniform excites you, then be my guest. Who can say? War is all about compromising your morals, deciding who lives and dies. What seems like a mistake turns into your greatest call down the road. Let me make one thing clear, just so that there aren't any misunderstandings. You support Graven Ash, and I couldn't care less. I'm here because you've done what none of the Archons could. Not even the voices of Nerat would fault me that. He's also a complete bastard, and I wouldn't want to miss an opportunity to stab him in the gut and take control of his army. So, there's that. I'll say this much. Our time together is anything but dull. My blades are yours for as long as you'll have me. What do you need?
The thought has crossed my mind from time to time. During the many battles of the Conquest, we found our...
The big guy here is as useless as an empty scabbard without his phalanx to keep him alive, but I move fast enough to compensate for it. And it's nice having a living wall of rusted iron I can use for cover. If you want to attach some arcane meaning to the whole thing, be my guest. I couldn't tell you for sure. I doubt that a capable tactician could explain why certain soldiers learn to rely on each other.
In the disfavored ranks, the Oathbound seem to know more about synchronizing their efforts, and the same could be argued for the Scarlet Furies. I don't know how they pair up their units, but it isn't by virtue of blood. I would suggest that our fighting styles complement each other, but they do not. I would suggest that we get along, but we do not. We don't even finish each other's
sentences. Okay, that was strange. Did you hear that? The next time I catch a whiff of Barrick's meaning, I'm keeping my mouth shut.
At least in theory, I'm supposed to be observing history and not getting myself wrapped into it. All the same, this is the thrill of a lifetime. Rarely does one stand so close to monumental moments in the making. If given the choice between a multifaceted hive mind of treachery and a surly old soldier, General Grumps is the wiser choice. It's patently obvious which Archon is truly loyal to Kairos. So, I must ask, are you planning on taking sides in the Civil War? Or do you have other plans? Dutifully spoken. It is Tunon's duty to arbitrate matters between the Archons, so this rift between Ash and Nerat certainly falls under his jurisdiction. And here you are, thrust in the middle of the dispute. No doubt the mighty adjudicator will be relying heavily on you to get to the truth of the matter. Whatever you do next, consider that many eyes will be upon you, for you have both delivered and taken away the Overlord's edicts, and few will know how to make sense of the latter. You are an exception the Archons cannot afford to ignore. They will likely aim to control or destroy you. Most of Kairos' edicts were either worded to end in a manner of the Overlord's choosing, or the edicts have simply continued in perpetuity. That's not to say there haven't been stories of broken edicts. They're just uncommon. The oldest is, I think, Golbraith and the Edict of Sorrows, and that tale dates back to around the year 110. Aside from you, the most recent was the Edict of Twisting Grasses, back in 380. In all these stories, Kairos' edict very clearly gives its victim a single way to escape, and someone manages it. What's never happened is the pure abatement of an edict, like using a spell of warding or cancellation. Of course, how can I help? The spires predate us all. As far as I know, we're the only ones who've been up here since... ever? I think this might be a first. Perhaps the real trailblazer had trouble getting down and was lost to history. Of course. How can I help? Are you asking for an objective assessment? Or is this your way of saying you want to gossip? He is a proper Northman, with duty in his blood, which makes me suspect his loyalty to Ash is stronger than his loyalty to you. So long as your interests remain aligned to Graven Ash, this shouldn't be an issue. I must admit, I am completely fascinated by his predicament. Ever tried diagramming the articulations of his armor? Don't. It'll only lead to madness and ruination. I know little of swordplay, and couldn't work a curve and arrow to save my life. I can't really comment on the lady.
Lady? You're just afraid to talk in front of me, clear as day. Your sweat is easier to read than your ink scribbles.
What? No, not at all. I just don't know how to comment on a warrior's worth, that's all.
Spare me your blather. Huh. Think that, do you? Didn't know you had such swollen hope for me.
A most fascinating specimen. I think she has great potential. A dangerous amount of potential, to be blunt. The Scarlet Furies are the fighting elite of the Scarlet Chorus, and that means floating to the top of a sea of blood and chum. We should consider ourselves lucky to have her on our side, with her weapons usually pointed away from us. Good tidecasters stay underwater. Kairos did the Tears a favor by erasing those moon howlers from history. A shame one of them escaped justice.
I like that I make you this agitated. Considering all the things that don't seem to bother you in the slightest. I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of getting off on how much power you're giving me here.
Ugh. And then there's your coquettish act whenever someone calls you on your teeth. I'll be the one ready to tangle when, not if, you decide to pounce. I am nothing if not a semi-reliable font of knowledge. What did you want to discuss? I am nothing if not a semi-reliable font of knowledge. What did you want to discuss? And I'd be happy to oblige. Ever since the fall of the Vellum Citadel, it is hard to find someone with whom I can discuss such things. Edicts are the strongest manifestation of magic we know, and they seem to violate all other lesser phenomena. No dispel cantrip has ever dented or abated an edict. Even archons with powers of great durability cannot shrug off their effects. Just look at Cairn. Now, what I find curious, edicts can flex a little. Or so my studies suggest this is the case. Take the Edict of Storms. While the day it was proclaimed was the most violent, the actual radius of the storm has changed over time. But most will have none of my hypotheses on this matter. So, in my studies, some edicts resolve some problem of the overlords and then vanish into history. But the edicts that linger around, almost all of them begin to widen. Their effects become more intense. Here's the intriguing part. The older the edict, and the more that's written about it, the more the reports of that edict get more dire over time. Something to that effect, at least. I contend that edicts are powered by fear. Fear of Kairos helps fuel the casting, and fear of the edict feeds the magic, sustaining it, and, if enough people fear it, even growing it a bit. Intellectual honesty demands that I study the matter more. If I'm correct, the more people fear and obsess over an edict, the stronger it becomes. Anyway, another study for another time. And I'd be happy to oblige. Ever since the fall of the Vellum Citadel, it is hard to find someone with whom I can discuss such things. And I'd be happy to oblige. I've forgotten more than most blood chanters have ever learned. What do you want to know? Most certainly. I probably should have shown you how to mend wounds sooner. If you have a moment, I can show you the healing sigil I was trained to use. And I'd be happy to oblige. Familiar is a relative term. I think I know more than most, but it's a subject of mystery, even to the scholars. Though, I must admit, in addition to my reading, I've ventured into the old walls on occasion, and soiled many undergarments in the process. And I'd be happy to oblige. And I'd be happy to oblige.
Right.
What is it you need?